Well, I want to make the positive and patriotic case for why we should stay in the European Union, why being part of the EU has brought great economic benefits for this country, how it makes us safer, how it amplifies our role in the world, but also the risks that are inherent in leaving, how some of those benefits would be taken away, how we'd be plunged into a period of uncertainty, and then the risks to our economy and security if we did leave. Well, Manchester is an absolutely critical place in this referendum. It's part of the country that has a lot of support for the EU. It's a city with a rich trading history. It's got one of the largest student populations in the world, never mind Europe, and a very dynamic city that's at ease with itself, growing rapidly, lots of exciting new industries. So it's a great place to come and talk about these arguments and hear what people have got to say, and hopefully encourage people not just to listen to the debate but also make sure that they vote on June 23rd. Well, I think the Remain side is winning the argument. Every week that passes there's another heavyweight report this week from the Organisation of Economic Cooperation and Development, the OECD, setting out how Britain's economy is stronger in Europe and very much weaker if we pull out. Big international leaders like President Obama making his case recently. So I think the momentum is definitely on our side. And as people probe what Britain's future would look like if we left the EU, they see that there's a huge amount of uncertainty and what you might call a leap in the dark. Well, we've got to make it real for people, and that means, getting away from the sort of lofty phrases and talking about bread and butter issues, what this means for people's jobs, what it means for prices, what it means for their ability to travel around Europe, what it means for them being safe on the streets, and all those things are affected by being in the EU. And there's still 2 months to go, so there's going to be a lot more noise before we get to the polling day, and I think it's inherent in campaigners to make it interesting, make it personal. We've got groups of campaigners and volunteers all around the country, a very big chapter of our campaign in Manchester with a whole range of people from different backgrounds, different ages, getting involved in the campaign, going out on weeknight evenings, weekends, leafleting, talking to voters, trying to make this argument real for them and talking about why they're so passionate. Students are critical and incredibly affected by this decision. If we were to leave, future job prospects would be limited. People's opportunities to travel and study freely around Europe would fall. The Erasmus scheme would no longer apply to the UK, which many people have benefited from, and our universities would get less research funding. So I think it really is a big issue for young people, and that's probably why we're seeing such high levels of support. But if young people want to make sure they retain those benefits, then they've got to make sure they register and then go and vote on June 23rd. And if they're not going to be on campus by that time, then make sure you've got a postal vote or that you're registered at home so you don't lose your voice.